Hello and welcome to Growing Older and Wiser. I'm Krista Gibson, and I'm going to share a couple of ideas with you today. As we age, I think it's more and more important that we spend time in nature. I believe we need to spend time in nature all the time, at all ages. But as we grow older, I think there is another way to align ourselves. And one of the ways that I think spending time in nature, no matter where you live, and it can be as simple as going in your backyard. If you don't live close enough to the mountains or the ocean or rivers or whatever, you can just go outside somewhere or a local park. But one of the things, if we spend time in nature, we start becoming really aware of cycles and the cycles that nature goes through. Now, the cycles are going to vary depending on where you live. I used to live in the Pacific Northwest, and we had very definite cycles of rain, and more rain. No, that's not true. We used to tell people that, but it's not true. There's glorious times where there's no rain, and if you live there, you learn to love the rain. Anyway, even there, where there aren't like deep demarcations of spring and summer and winter and so on, it's very obvious what seasons are, what's going on in which season. And when you can align with that in terms of your life, there's a lot of wisdom to that. If it's winter time, it's time to slow down, turn within, make some soup, some hot chocolate, and really allow yourself to be more internal. If it's springtime, what new seeds do you want to plant? By aligning ourselves with the seasons and with nature and looking around us, what do the plants do? What do the trees do? What are the animals doing? Again, whether you live where you can experience them directly or not, you can see how that relates to your own life. Now I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and to be honest, it's sun all the time. That's not quite true. We do get thunderstorms, and when fall and winter come, it does change a little bit. But I'll be honest, more often than not, the sun is shining. And so sometimes you can get tricked into thinking, well, there's not much to seasons here or much to nature. Oh, no, not true at all. And if you really spend some time with the trees and with the plants and the cactus, and you really align with them, again, you can see how does that relate to me and my life. And why is that important? Well, it's important because we do go through cycles. All of us do. One of the issues is we don't pay attention to them or we deny them. We could be in a cycle where it's time for us just to kind of lay back, kick back, don't do very much, kind of let things stew, let things simmer on the back burner before we jump into action. Our culture here in the United States is all about action. So if you have a thought about something, my gosh, you're supposed to spring into action. Well, that's not the way it works. If you spend time with nature, you'll see that's not what nature does at all. Now, one of the things I personally love to do, besides aligning with the trees and the wind and the sky and so on, is I love aligning with the elementals. For instance, aligning with fire. When I do want more action in my life or I want more passion about what I'm doing, I want to get in touch with that internal fire that I have about whatever it may be. Or maybe I want to align more with water, which is flexibility, kind of going with the flow, letting things happen, and not trying to be quite so much in charge. Aligning with the air for ideas, for inspiration, for putting something out into the universe and seeing what comes back to you. Air is wonderful to align with. And of course, earth, being grounded, really being in my body, being on the planet, really feeling and experiencing that. Now, when I can spend some time with these different elementals and with nature herself, and very consciously, now what I'm talking about is being conscious of what you're doing. And that means not being the one who's always talking at nature or at the elementals. How about putting something out there and then sitting back and receiving and listening? Because there is so much for us that is being delivered on a constant basis that all we have to do is tune in. If you're looking for inspiration, let's say you're writing a book or doing a piece of art or going to have a meeting of some kind with somebody, and you need inspiration, you're just feeling dry. Well, connect with air. Connect with that ability to be out there and be aware of the ideas and inspirations that are there. They will come to you like butterflies, like hummingbirds. The trick is they don't stay very long. And if you don't grab that inspiration when it's offered to you, it's going to float off to somebody else. Sad but true. So pay attention. And if you find yourself getting all, stick in the muddish and not willing to change, not willing to take in new ideas, just feeling your way is the way, well, align yourself with water. If possible, get in a swimming pool. Go to a river, go to the ocean. If not, get in your bathtub or the shower. But just feel how water just is so flexible. Until it turns to ice, which is a whole other topic. Water is just, it's free flowing. Nothing gets in its way. If there's a rock, it goes over, around it, whatever, so we can be more like water, and we can invoke the spirit of water. Those are just a couple of examples of what I'm talking about. But I think as we age, part of the wisdom that we gain is from being on the planet, and it's from being aligned with nature, being aligned with the elementals consciously, and working with them, playing with them in our lives, that we can move more towards wisdom instead of just growing old. That's my idea for today. Think about it. See how does that apply to your life? And maybe you already do all of this, in which case, congratulations. And as always, use the comment section. Share your ideas. What do you do? What part does nature play in your life? Share with everybody else. I know we'd all love to read your thoughts. Talk to you next time. Bye.